But suppose if I say that this term is not there, now if I substitute s equals to infinity, this will become infinity. Now if suppose this is not there, then again a finite value of 1 by 3. Now suppose this is not there, then if I substitute s equals to infinity, this will become 0. So there is a 0 at s equals to infinity. But if suppose this term is also missing, then the highest power is 0 here, highest power is 2 here. Now we will consider that there are two zeros at s equals to infinity. Similarly, for example, all of these terms are there, but this term and this term, they are not there. In that situation, highest power is 3 here, highest power is 1 here, and there will be two poles at s equals to infinity. Okay. So for a positive real function, highest power should not differ by more than unity, or we can say there should not be multiple poles or multiple zeros at s equals to infinity. Similarly, lowest power, if suppose here the lowest power is 0, here also lowest power is 0, so at s equals to 0, this will become 8 by 7. So 8 by 7 means there is neither a pole nor a zero at s equals to 0 at the origin. But suppose this is absent, then s can be taken as common. What does that mean? There is a 0 at s equals to 0. If suppose this is also absent, then s square can be taken as common, then two zeros at the origin. Now here this is also missing, then s can be taken as common from here also, and s and 1 power of this can be cancelled out, so there is a 0 at the origin. So the difference of the lowest powers, if will tell us the number of zeros or poles. But if suppose this power is less, here lowest power is less and here lowest power is more, then more number of s can be taken as common here as compared with here. So ultimately some of them will be cancelled and there will remain some powers of s. That will tell us the number of poles at the origin. But there should not be the difference which is more than unity between lowest power here and lowest power here. So what does that mean? It simply means that there should not be multiple poles or multiple zeros at the origin. Now what are necessary and sufficient conditions of a positive real function? Actually, if those two conditions which are there in basic definition, we are not able to apply them because of their tediousness, because the procedure becomes lengthy, then instead of those two conditions we test for these three conditions. They are substitute, they are necessary as well as sufficient. One is fs must have no pole in the right half s plane. Second is fs must have no multiple poles on the j omega axis. Residues of simple poles on the j omega axis must be real and positive. And third condition is a real part of f when s is replaced by j omega must be greater than equals to 0 for each and every value of omega. This condition can be tested by testing the Hermitianus of the denominator polynomial. If we are not able to find out the roots of the denominator polynomial easily, then we can test for Hermitianus of the denominator polynomial, and this condition can be tested. For this condition, we should find out the roots on the j omega axis. If there is any multiple root on j omega axis, then it is not a PR function. Now suppose there are simple roots on the j omega axis, then we have to find out the residues also, because the residues must be tested. They should be real and positive. If there is no root on the j omega axis, no pole on the j omega axis, in that situation there is no need to test further. This condition can be considered to be satisfied automatically, because there is no question of these things. The main thing is that how to test this condition. Okay. So these three conditions must be satisfied. All of them must be satisfied. Even a single of them, even a single condition is not satisfied, then we will consider that the given function is not a positive real function. So we have to test for each and every of them, all of them. In some situations, it is easy to test this condition. In that case, we will test this first. In some situations, it is easy to test this condition, then we will test this first. Okay, so the order can be changed. So how to test for this condition? Suppose fs is p upon q, numerator polynomial, denominator polynomial, and this can be broken into two parts: even part of numerator, odd part of numerator, even part of denominator, odd part of denominator, like this. So now here what we are doing, we are multiplying numerator and denominator by m2 minus n2. This will be written like this. In denominator we are having this, we have separated into two parts. Now this m1 is even, this is even into even is even, odd into odd is also even. Odd polynomial, if we multiply with another odd polynomial, this will come out to be even polynomial. And even minus even will come out to be even polynomial. Here this is even into odd, this is odd into even. Okay. So both of them are odd polynomials, and odd minus odd polynomial will always be odd polynomial. And what is this denominator? In this denominator we are having m2 square minus n2 square. What does that mean? We actually have m2 square minus n2 square. Both of them are even polynomials. Even square is even polynomial, odd square is again even polynomial, and even minus even, this is even polynomial. Moreover, if I substitute s equals to j omega here, in case of odd polynomial, for example, if suppose we are having odd polynomial like this, s cube plus 3s. Odd polynomial means s can be taken as common, remaining is again even polynomial. And if I substitute this s as j omega, this even polynomial will always result in real number if s is replaced by j omega. So this will come out to be minus omega square plus 3. This is always a real number. And if it is multiplied by j omega, it will come out to be a pure imaginary number. Okay. So in case of this n2 square, this is pure, n2 is pure imaginary number. If it is, if has been replaced by j omega, then n2 square will always be j square is minus 1. So this will come out to be a negative quantity. This is always a positive quantity. m2 is always a real number. A square of a real number is a positive real number. n2 is also a real number, but it is a negative real number. Sorry, n2 is imaginary number. So n2 square will always come out to be a negative real number. So positive real number minus a negative real number, this will come out to be a positive real number. What about m1, m2? It is a real number. n1, n2, it is always also a real number because both of them are even. And what about the second term? This is even this is odd polynomial, this is odd polynomial, odd minus odd is odd polynomial. So this is imaginary number divided by positive real number. Okay. So what about, we have to test? We have to test about real part of fj omega. So real part will appear from here. This is imaginary part. Odd part will result in imaginary part. If in this odd part s is replaced by j omega, it will result in imaginary part, pure imaginary part. In this even part, if we replace this s by j omega, this will result in pure real part. And this real part must be greater than or equals to 0. And this is always greater than or equals to 0, real and positive. So we have to test only for this part. So m1, m2. So what is the condition? So in order to